Lovely, right. Take a few breaths in, breathe in and out, and again breathe in and out. Really just going to give these wrists and shoulders a little warm up because we're going to spend a lot of time on all fours doing leg work, glute work, wrists the other way. We can be on the elbows, but get them warm anyway. Lovely, let's take them together, little figure of 8. Lovely, then let's stretch the fingers and the wrists and reverse. And reverse. Keep going, lovely. Let's take those arms up and then bring them down and round the back, head down. Just a few shoulder rolls, warm these shoulders up and forwards. Lovely. Okay, so I'm going to do my first set on all fours. Maybe we'll work like this. If you've got any wrist problems, come down to the elbows, that's fine. But for the moment, if we can stay up on the wrists a little bit, that'd be fine. We want to make sure, what I'm going to be doing is a straight leg lift. So with the straight leg lift, we want to make sure the back isn't arching and this happens, otherwise the back's doing all the work. So this stays strong and you're just lifting up and down, but the trunk stays strong. So when you're ready, shoulders down, looking straight down at the floor, tummy in, right leg back and lift. So this is working our glutes, but we're also challenging the core and the shoulders. And again, try not to rotate, keep your hips down, looking down. Again, you could have your hands in that position if that's more comfortable on your wrists. It's really all about the leg, the bottom. Lovely. 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to switch legs. So nice strong position, shoulders back, left leg back, squeeze and lift, lift and lift. So I'm going quite a fast pace, but just work at your own. You can go half the time if you want, but squeeze that bum. 3 and 2 and 1, lovely. So slight variation on that, I'm going to slow it down. So I'm going to do a 3-point tap. So my right leg is going to tap behind to the diagonal, straight behind and then out to the side. Back in the centre, cross behind, back in the centre, out to the side. So you can take it as far as your body allows or your hips allow. We want to make sure we're not moving the body. The music stopped then somehow. No, there we go. So tap, cross, tap, side. Again, keeping the body strong. So just working the leg, working different parts of the glutes. Squeezing the tummy, breathing, tap, tap. Tap. One more. Lovely. Good. We're going to change legs. So again, nice strong position. Switch up the wrist a bit if they're getting a bit hurting. Left leg back, cross it. Behind to the side. Centre. Behind. Centre. Side. Tap. Again, choosing a speed and a range of motion that works for you. Keep that tummy tight. We don't want the back to arch. There's nothing moving anywhere but in that leg. And we're getting some hip mobility, some movement, and really working all the different parts of your glutes. Nearly there. Keep going. Last tap, 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 and back to centre. Let's sit back, just stretch out those legs and back for a minute. Coming up, let's give these wrists a little rest for a moment. So similar exercise, but slightly different position with the leg. Again, this one, because we're kicking the leg up higher, I'm on the elbows. I find if you're here and you start trying to kick your leg up, it's very easy for the back to arch, whereas if you're down here, you're not going to use your back. So on your elbows, it's very gentle, you're not putting too much pressure on them. So it's called a donkey kick. So you flex your foot and it's like you keep your leg bent, so you're not straightening your leg. It's like you're trying to kick the ceiling up behind you. And kick, and down. This is a little bit slower. Kick, and down. More kick, lovely. Again, really attacking those glutes, but you're also getting a bit of work into these shoulders and core because you're having to hold the position. And looking straight down at the floor, so the neck is just nice and long, there's no tension. Lovely, let's do another 8 of these, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're going to change sides. Again, strong shoulders, tummy in, left foot flex it, taking it up to the ceiling, and up, and up, and up. So really good for your bum, this. I mean, your glutes, we need to have strong glutes to help with your posture and make sure everything's moving and working properly. But the plus side is you get a nice peachy bum. Squeeze. Think of squeezing your bum, squeezing your tums. Everything's squeezing at the same time. You should start to feel it a little bit in these shoulders as well now. 2 more. Last one. Fantastic. Sit back. Going to do one more thing in this position. You can give these up shoulders a little stretch, a little release. So similar to what we did with the leg, I'm going to do a cross with the knee. So I'm going to donkey kick up and then take it down to a cross behind me, take it up and then down to centre. So just do centre and cross, not going to go out to side because you haven't got the range. So you kick up, cross the leg behind, kick up, touch the knee down, kick up, cross, up, down. Same thing, don't let the back arch, even though it's hard in this position, but just focus on the tummy that you're trying to pull it in. Good, really good. Working all the glutes, got minimum, medium and maximum. Maximus works all the way up the hip, lovely. One more. Oh, I'm feeling that. Let's change side, left knee, nice and strong, tummy in, and kick up, and cross behind, up, tap down, up, behind, up, down, lovely, up. Again, working at your speed, keeping the rest of the body still. Don't sink when you cross, so you don't want to sink into it. It's just the leg crossing behind, keeping your right leg nice and still. Push and cross and down, lovely. 3, 2, last one. Woo, let's sit back, reach these arms forwards. Lovely, let's do a little chest stretch because we've been in this position. So hands behind. Lovely. So we're going to lie down on our side. Good old Jane Fonda style. So we're going to start with some kicks. So again, where you want your head position is up to you. Here, or you can be here. I do find this gets a crick in the neck quite a lot, so it's probably better to be lying down or pop a pillow underneath if you want. And I'm literally going to have the underneath leg bent a bit for stability, so I'm not rolling. And this top leg, keeping your toe pointing forward, so we don't want to rotate at the moment, just lifting up and down. So we're really hitting this side of this hip, all the way down here and into the top of the thigh. And try and be sort of aligned as much as you can, so you haven't got your head here, on your arm, looking forwards, nice and lengthened, and just Squeezing, again, it's not too much about height, lengthen and push. And lift up, and again, knee stays forward, lovely. So when we change position, it will change the muscles in the leg that we're working. And again, still squeeze the tummy, pulling in, pulling up. And this hand again is for a bit of support, but if the knee's bent underneath, you shouldn't roll anyway. Ooh, let's keep going. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Just rest it for a moment. Okay, so another set which is going to work on the hip mobility and a slightly different position. So this time I want to turn the foot up to the ceiling as much as I can, and my knees pointing up, so I've opened out a bit. I'm going to have the foot pointed, I'll find it a little bit easier, and we're just literally kicking up. So you can see it's a different movement. So your knee's not facing forward, it's up. So slightly different. You're going to feel it in a different part of the body, different part of the legs, more here, working, really opening up the hips as well. And it's nice what dancers do, so it's good practice. If you're going to be joining the can-can anytime soon. I'm going to do what they call a développé, bring it in, kick it up and down. So you bring it into the knee, up and down, in, up and down. Again, don't worry about how high your leg's going or how straight it is. As long as you're controlled, you're not flinging it around, got a nice extension, lovely. Reverse, up, bend and down, up, bend and down. Imagine you're a ballerina, and down, a little bit. Oh, sorry about that, I lost you. You back? Oh, the phone rang. Good. Lovely. And release. Good stuff. Let's bring that knee in, give it a little rub. So one last one in this position, really to get the knee, get the hip. So this time, so we've done forward, we've done up. I want the knee to be pointing down this time. So you're up and your knee's almost coming in to where your hand is. Push back, knee comes in. So it's changing the position, really giving that hip a good old workout. Lovely. And now about 8, and 7, and 6, and 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Oh, give that a rub. Woo. We're going to do the inner thigh now, and please, this one's going to have a rest. So this knee here, you can just take it behind you, and then the leg that's in front is going to straighten. We're going to work that one. Okay, same thing with the underneath leg. Let's flex it, and your thigh is up to the ceiling, your knees pointing forward. And lift up, and down, and up, and down, and up, and down, lovely. Again, and lengthen here, relax the head. And you have rolled back a little bit, that's fine, but you're taking your thigh to the ceiling. Breathing. Keeping going. So you have to have the foot turn this way to work the inner thigh. If you turned your foot that way, you're then starting to work the front. So that's why we've got this foot turned out. Lovely. Thinking of the rest of the body as well. I know it's the leg working, but you can still be squeezing around here. And 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lovely. We're going to switch ends. You can just roll over if you need to, but I'm going to switch ends so I can see you. So we've got the head resting on the arm. The front knee's in a bit, and the back leg is here. So we're starting with the foot flexed, knee points straight forward, up and down, working here. Lovely. Again, nice aligned neck. And again, working at your own speed. Think of engaging the tummy area if it needs help. So you're always working everything, trying not to grip with this bottom foot. Let it relax. Good. 8, 7, 6, 2, 1. Lovely. Little rub for a moment, and then we're going to change the position. So we are now turning the foot upwards. You try and take your knee up to the ceiling. So I tend to find pointing, it does help me turn it out. And we're kicking it up and down, up and down, up. So we're starting to recruit some more inner thigh muscle, but we're working this quad as well, up. And your flexibility in your hips and the strength in your legs to do nice kicks. 2 more, and then we're going to do our développé. Fancy French word for bend and extend. Up. 2 more, then we reverse. So try and get your knee up to the ceiling, lift, bend, and then you slide along. Lift, again, don't worry, just work with your flexibility. It's really working the hamstrings as well, so it should get your legs nice and warm, so when we stretch at the end, you might feel you've got quite a lot more flexibility. You need flexible legs and strong legs. 1 more. Good, little rest. Then we're changing position of the leg again, so this time the knee is pointing down, so we're here. So knee in, up to your hand, and push back. Like you're kicking away, push. And push, lovely. Push. Push. Another 8, and then we're switching to the inner thigh. We can do it, really good work. 2 more. Last one. Oh, rest. So this knee here, place the foot behind, and then we're straightening the front leg. The thigh is up to the ceiling. It should be natural if you let your foot turn out to the side. And then we're just going to lift and lower, lovely lift. So we only do this one in this position. We do quite a few reps. And again, your height, your range of motion, your speed is up to you as long as you're not in any pain, but you're feeling the muscle groups working. Another 8. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Whew. Roll onto the back. And we'll give these thighs a bit of a stretch. Bring your knees into your chest. Little roll around. And then open the knees, keep the feet together. So you're trying to pull your knees back towards your shoulders. Now you might find that you could start to straighten one leg. You might be able to grab your ankle, you might reach your foot, don't worry if not. Can you just straighten one? Well, as long as you can feel a stretch, doesn't matter if the leg is straight. And release, and we can change sides. You're straightening the leg, winding your wall. Good stuff. You know I'm going to try 2. Again, it's up to you. Couple of options. So you could just do this and just use your hands. Just hands on your around your sort of knees or thighs, just to open the legs and open the hips, and nice stretch.
I don't know that one.
So another stretch, you can now bend in, you can grab your heels and just pull your feet in. Happy baby it's called. It's a yoga stretch, but it's a really nice one. So the idea is you're pulling your feet in towards you, but if you can't reach your feet, just pull your legs down. Not the most lazy-like of positions, but it's really nice for stretching out all this thigh that we just worked. I'll stretch our hips in a minute. Release, lovely. Just a little roll round of the knees, release those hips. Okay, so a little bit more. Last sort of set of workout, and then we shall stretch out. So I want to do some glute bridges. I'm going to give some variations, but essentially you're just lifting your bottom and lowering. Don't want to push too high, otherwise you end up in this sort of arched bridge, which isn't overly good for your back. So you're really just pushing up and down. If your legs are starting to really ache, just bring your feet a bit closer in. But I'm going to give some options, a few variations, add some arms and bits, but you can always just come back to this, or if you get a bit crampy, just come down and your knees are up. Right, let's grab a quick mouthful of drink. Oh, and we've got one more song, I believe. I'm going to go for this song. Okay, getting ready, heels into your bum, neck is long, chin tucked in, hands down to start with. Let's lift the bottom and squeeze, and squeeze. So a good one, I find, bend your arms, push your elbows into the floor. Just helps you from overarching. And squeeze, 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 lovely stuff. Keep that neck long, so looking down towards those knees, and you're not pushing with your ribs. Squeeze the tummy, squeeze the bum, that's all we want to push. 8 more of these. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Rest for a moment, knees in, little hug. So I want to do a bridge, or glute bridge walk, which is exactly as it sounds. We lift and hold, and we lift the foot lower down, lift the foot lower down. So you're walking, don't bring your knee in, keep it above the hips, so here and down. Try and keep your hips lifted, neck long. And again, you can have those arms, elbows into the floor. And think of keeping a nice 90-degree angle with your knees, so we're not flinging our legs. Keep going, heart rate's up a little bit as well now, got some movement going on. Keep breathing, keep squeezing. 8, 7, lift. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's take it down. Knees in. Let's try one-legged bridge. Woo. So, I find it a bit easier to do it this way rather than your leg dangling in the air. Cross the ankle over the knee, get a nice opening of the hips as well. Same thing, you're just going to lift and lower with your right ankle on the left knee. And lift and lower. So you're really working that left glute. Try and keep your hips level. Squeeze. And squeeze. Again, neck long. Squeeze the tummy, squeeze the bum. Two more. Let's switch, feet down, left foot over. Ready, and squeeze. And squeeze. A little bit more wobbly as well, we've got a bit more core having to engage here. So nice and controlled. Squeeze in the bum, here we go, squeeze. Doing so well. 2 more. Woo. Release. Look at that, what good timing. Roll the knees around. Roll yourself up to sitting gently. And do some little stretches for the legs. So come onto all fours. And I'm going to bring my knee in between my hands, or if it's not comfortable there, just take it to the right hand. So you can either bring it there or here. Then take your back foot and scooch it back. So we're in this pose here. So if you're comfortable with that, this foot underneath can start to slowly move forward into the middle. It's really going to depend on your knees. So I'm front on, so you're either here, or you can start to bring your foot round. Again, you work with your knees. What we're focusing on is pushing the leg back. So you're stretching the hip flexor with the left leg. And you can, wherever your foot is, underneath you or to the side, just start to push to the right hand side and come back. Again, working with your hips, your knees, just seeing how it feels. And then just take it to a place where you can. If you can get the bottom on the floor, wonderful. But this left hip, keep it facing forward. If you're happy, you can come down. Again, you've really got to listen to your body. These are deep stretches. Lovely. Let's come back up. I'm just going to put the weight into the hands, slide that knee back, bring my left knee forward. So in between the two hands, and then the right foot, scooch it back. So we're stretching out this hip flexor, pushing the hips down. So your foot can shuffle through if that's comfortable, and you're pushing to the left, centre, to the left. Pushing down on that hip. If the hip can get to the floor, lovely, your bottom's on the floor, but keep this hip facing down because it wants to roll. So push it down, and then if you're comfortable, lean forward with whatever your body's happy with. Nearly there. A few more breaths. Lovely. Push into the hands, coming up back to kneeling. Kneeling up here, hands on the hips. Let's just push your hips forward. Stretching here, hands to support the back. Then I'm going to take, I want to do it so you can see me, left foot forward. Drive your hips forward. So we're now stretching our hip flexor. So make sure your knees feel alright with this. And then if you're comfortable, you can sort of inchworm this front foot forward. You can lean into it a bit more. You might want to use a wall. If you can reach down, wonderful. And then you're dropping the hips. Again, you've got to work at your level. That could be fine for you. But if you can, get down. If it's a lot on your knee, you can tuck that foot under and pick it up. Again, it works. Just listen to what your body is saying. This is your hip flexor stretch. We've stretched the outside of the hip and the inner thigh, doing this one. So hamstrings, going to come back up, bring that foot in a little bit, hands on the hips, flex this front foot straightly and lean forward, grabbing onto something if you need it, floor if you can reach it, wonderful. Essentially it's the same as standing up and putting one leg forward, so you could do that as well if this isn't comfortable. And you're drawing your hips back. Chest is down, and you're stretching this leg. And let's bring that in, let's change sides. So I'm going to take the right foot forward and push into it. And again, if the body is comfortable, you can scooch your foot forward and drive down a bit more, leaning with that hand on the floor. Again, if that's a lot on your knee, you can tuck under. It's up to you, I don't mind. I find this is a better stretch, you're stretching it more. When you go up into this hold, you are stretching, but you've got to hold the posture a bit more, so it just depends. Let's now think of the hamstrings. So coming back up, scooch your foot back, get your balance. Ooh, flex your foot. Oh, I can't balance on this side today. Push the hips back. It's easy if you've got something to hold on to be honest. If you can reach the floor, great. If not, A wall is your friend, and we're pushing these hips back, stretching this leg, trying to keep the back as straight as we can so that we're not hunched over. We're always trying to lengthen and extend. One more nice deep breath here. Lovely. Slowly untangle yourself. I'm just going to come here, just a little stretch up, stretch forward, and stretch back. Lovely. Let's have a breath in to finish. One more. Lovely stuff, well done.